Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday to you. My name is Lori DeGroot from Loritamarie Crafts, and I love to come here live on Thursdays so that I can share fun tips, techniques, ideas, inspiration with you to help you take your paper crafting supplies and turn them into beautiful projects. I'm coming to you from snowy Calgary today. So technically, spring doesn't start till next week, so we can't complain about the snow yet. But if this keeps on all month, I'm not going to be too happy. Although here in Calgary, it's apparently March is our snowiest month of the year. So yeah, we just have to hang in there a little bit longer. So what I'm doing is all my crafting is spring theme, and I'm just like willing the spring weather to come up and together. And we're going to be having a great time today making some projects with a brand new suite called the Lovely Garden Suite. And it is so pretty, and I know you're going to fall in love with it. So before we get going, just one quick thing. I always love to tell you about my classes that are going on so that there's ways that I offer for you to get creative and to get um, creating in your craft room. I was going to try to use a different word than create, but it just kept coming out. So what I have on right now is my monthly online class called my March Stamp and Create class, and it's featuring the Floral Delight Design Series paper. So it's all yellow and beautiful and just has spring vibes to it. So I'll just give you a little sneak peek. So we're going to make two projects. This is a fun fold card, and this is an awesome like waterfall card where you open it up and you slide it, and all the fun pieces kind of like come along with it. And so that's really lovely. And then if you get the class to go, which is available anywhere in Canada, you'll get the paper, you get the cardstock, you get ribbon, embellishments. I do a full step-by-step video and a PDF of the supplies and dimensions and to help you get going. So if you want to sign up, all the information on my classes is always on my website, which is loritamariecrafts.ca. And just do shop classes and my March Stamp and Grade class. And I think I've learned how to pin it to the top of my blog page too. So it's easy to find. So we're always learning new things about technology, right? So that's the class I have going on right now. And today I just gonna get right into the projects. So March, there was a brand new release from Stampin' Up of online exclusives, which means there wasn't like a printed catalog, but it all went immediately online. And so if you look for online exclusives, there's a little tab on the shopping page, and you can see everything that's new. I have a little flyer here just to show, but like there are 3 suites. What did I count the other day? Like 3 suites, 7 bundles, 10 stamp sets. Like there's a lot of amazing things. So you're bound to find something that you love. The 3 suites are the one I'm showing today, which is a lovely garden. There's one called, let me see, botanical textures. So if you're more organic shapes or black and white and wood textures, that's a good one to check out. And then there's a really fun one called On the Go, which is bright colors and kind of travel themed. But you could tweak it to kind of non-travel things too, but it's like luggage tags. I don't know, and it's like super cute. So I encourage you to go check out everything that's available to see what speaks to you. Hello. And let's get going. Let's get to the crafting. I just feel like getting right to it today. So first, I'm going to start with the design series paper because that's usually what draws me towards a suite. And then I kind of go from there. So look how fun this paper is. Doesn't it just make you think of springtime? So we've got lovely like flowers and hydrangea flowers. And I'll just go through each design for you and then I'll show you the back. And then there's this lovely yellow one with little tiny flowers. And then this one might be one of my favorites. It's like bold giant flowers with a black background that just really pops. And we've got this one here. And this is literally all I have left of this one. Can you believe it? So I've already been crafting with this. So look, it's just like a green floral pattern. And so what I liked about this paper is that it pairs it with a little bit of black and white. And so I always love doing that. So on the back side of this little strip, let's see if I can get that clear, is fresh freesia. And it's just got like teeny little like marks on it just to give it some dimension. And then you've got garden green, and then you've got black and white patterns here. And so what's fun about black and white is you can always just leave them black and white. They make great options to pair those bold patterns with. Or you can color them. So don't be afraid to just like get your blending brush on there, and you can basically make them any color that you want. So that's kind of like the other really fun thing about this kind of paper. So that's the paper. And next I want to show you the bundle, and it's kind of a special one. It's got a special product in it. So we have got the stamp set, which is called Thankful Garden. And then we've got the coordinating dies. And so you can see you've got 2 flowers. And so these images are at 75%, so they're actually a lot bigger. And so you've got a few different sentiments, ways to add like the little insides of your flowers. That's what those little specks are. And then you've got you make a difference with love and thanks and thankful for you, friend, as your sentiments. You have got the matching dies to cut out the outline of the flowers, plus each one I'll show you, you can cut out an extra detail. You can cut out 3 leaves at a time, which is awesome, or 3 little leaves at a time. So that's what those little ones are. And then you have 2 solid leaf shapes kind of stand alone without a stamp set, which I love to add in to my projects. And I love having a whole bunch of these. I can mix and match no matter what I'm using if I'm not even using this bundle. So that's fun. So we'll get into all that. But the other fun thing about this bundle is that it has decorative masks. So I'd love to know if you've used decorative masks before. Believe it or not, I have never bought them. So we've had some in the past. Stampin' Up's had some in the past that have been like a little more like, I don't want to say geometric, but pattern oriented as opposed to flowers. Or I just haven't been drawn to them before. I don't know, but they're so cool. So we've got a way to color the leaves. So we're going to go through all these today. So this is how we color the leaves. And then these 3, let's see, I get it in the right order here. These 3 work together to color both flowers. So this is the hydrangea up here, and this is the other flowers there. So that's going to be fun to showcase that today. And then, of course, we have little fun sparkly sequins in fresh freesia, crushed curry, and white. And then this amazing ribbon that you're definitely going to want to add to your wish list because I want it to focus in there. I'm going to grab it. It is velvet. It's focusing on the sequins. There we go. It's like so soft, so velvet. So I love it because it's thin too. So it's going to have a lot of great uses that we can play around with it. So first we're going to start by creating our flowers and then we'll build up our cards from there. So the cards are a little more simple design in the sense that we want to make the flowers kind of the star of the show. So let's start with that awesome hydrangea. And so let's grab it. And we're going to use my nice giant block to pick this up. There we go. And I'm going to ink mine up in black to give it an outline. So I had a meeting on Saturday morning with some of my friends, ladies who are on like my little Sunshine Crafter Stampin' Up team. And none of us had used decorative masks before. So it was a lot of fun. We learned how to use them together. They figured out how to do it so I can show you today. So they were my training ground. It was a lot of fun. And so we did some with the outline, but you could also use the masks without the outline, and then you get a nice, like, softer look. And so that was kind of like a fun second option. Now I'm going to stamp it twice, focusing kind of on the flowers. I'm just going to grab a scrap paper here. I think I've got this one. And because we can cut out a second like round of flowers to kind of layer up. So that is the first step. And then you're going to want to grab your masks and like post-it notes or washi tape or painter's tape or something to hold it down. And so the first one we're going to start with, it even has like a little number 1 on it, is like the big wide outline. So you're just going to want to figure out how it lines up. And you'll see there's like a little like cutout of the mask. So that's going to become important as we layer things up. So actually I'm going to move this because I've got my glass mat. Sometimes I find things get kind of slippery. So I am going to try to also tape the plastic mat, but also to my glass mat. And maybe to the paper too, so that everything just kind of stays put. And the color I'm going to use for our lovely hydrangea is Blueberry Bushel. And then you're going to need some blending brushes. And I'm just like, they put Blueberry Bushel in a few different DSP this time. And so like we're using it a lot and it's fun. Like it was kind of a little like hidden gem of a color there for a while. So on the first layer, I don't want it to be too dark. So you're gonna just kind of go in your ink pad and then you want to brush off kind of most of the ink. And then you're gonna go with a light touch to this first round because we need to create 3 layers, but all with the same color. So sometimes Stampin' Up! Has some great color combos where you got a good tone on tone connection where you can layer up with different colors. So I'll show you that with the other flower. But Blueberry Bushel, I find, doesn't have a great color match. So I'm just going to use the one color. Okay, so the next one we need is number 2. And then we know where it goes by matching up that little notch there, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and layer this up and I'm gonna grab my washi tape again and just make sure the whole thing is lined up. Okay, and now we're gonna get inked up again and just take off the darkest part. And now I can add a little more color. So I might go give it more pressure. And the best part is when you pull the masks off, it's like magic. These kind of things are always fun because you can't see the final result until you pull everything off. Okay, so we're gonna get into all the areas there, and then we're gonna grab mask 3, and we're gonna layer these up. Oh, and now I gotta find the end of my washi tape here. Just give me a sec here. There it is. Okay, so you wanna line it up with the little notches, kind of plus make sure the other side is not sliding all over the place. That's what I found out when I was playing around with it yesterday. And now for this third and final layer, I want it to actually be quite dark. So maybe I won't even brush off. So I'm going to kind of get right in there. It needs a little bit more pressure to get into this third layer of our masks. Okay, and then when you kind of feel like you've got the coverage that you want, we can go ahead and pull everything off. So just peel it all off here. I got lots of washi tape. Okay. And there is the first one. It's so pretty. And what I love about it, I probably could have even gone maybe a little bit darker on that last one. But what I really love about it is it looks professional, to be honest. Like the texture on it is so smooth that like nobody's gonna think that you colored it yourself, to be honest. It looks so good. It looks like DSP. So it gives a really fun look. So I'm going to quickly do the second one because um, we can cut out 2 pieces. So I want to show you how that works. So I'm going to try to go a little bit faster for round 2 here. And they're really easy to clean. You can just rinse them in the tap, under the tap, and then just the water will just run it off. So that's super easy. Okay, we'll just do round 2. Just kind of want to hold that mat in place too. And then we'll do round 3. And just make sure the whole mat lines up on all the sides just so you get your detail kind of where you want it. Let's see if I can go a little darker here. I can't remember which one it cuts out, so we'll just color all of it. Okay. There we go. And peel this all off. And then we have our second one. Okay, so That shows a good contrast there, right, with the darker blue. I like that. So now let's go ahead and color in the leaves. And so we've got two, so same thing. You're going to do the kind of outlining one first. And let's grab a couple of these. And so green, there's lots of good colors for green. So you can kind of choose the tone that you want, light or dark. I am going to show two different colors. So you could just use garden green. Like if you don't have every color, don't worry about it. You can just go a little bit lighter like I did with the blueberry bushel. But I'm going to start with my base with Granny Apple Green. And so we'll color this in like so. And then we'll grab the next one. Remember to line up your little mark there on the top right. And then we'll ink up in the darker garden green. And then just kind of go over all the details there. There, now we got the leaves. Got out of the way. And now we can see the finished product. So much fun. Okay, so let's cut this out. Actually, we're gonna stamp our sentiment and then we can cut everything out together. So I found that the sentiments in this stamp set pair really well with the mixed labels, stamp set and dies. So the mixed label dies are one of my favorite dies at the moment. I'm constantly using them, which is great. You want to get a label set that you can use multiple ways with multiple things. So where's the other stamp set? So let me show you here. So the You Make a Difference fits in this one here. The Thankful for You Friend fits in this large size here. The With Love fits perfectly in this one, and the little And Thanks fits perfectly in this one. So it's like they were meant to be, like a little matching set. So it's so great. So what I'm gonna do is first stamp this kind of banner shaped one. And I'll just grab block here. And we'll ink that in black. And so, yeah, always good to find ways that our stamp sets and dies can kind of stretch and go farther. Oh, I'll just leave that open. And then I'm going to take the You Make a Difference. And I'll just use the same block. And because it's wiggly, I'm going to try to lay it down and pick it up so that it's more or less straight. And what's nice is because this one's a photopolymer, is that now I can see and get it in that banner piece, hopefully more or less straight. And because it's a photopolymer stamp, technically you can bend it. So if you wanted to angle it a bit, you could just manipulate the stamp a little bit. That actually turned out pretty good. That turned out better than my original sample. So you can see that fits in there just perfect. So let's grab our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And start with our flowers. Okay, so we've got this die, which is going to cut out the whole flower. So that's when we colored the leaves and everything. So we want that one to be whole. And then this weird shape, it fits on here. I kind of maybe went a little too close to the edge. So we spent a lot of time turning to figure out which ones that it cuts out. So it kind of goes like this, where it angles up, and it's actually hitting these three petals at the bottom. So those are the ones that it perfectly cuts out. And again, to keep everything in place, you could use washi tape. I'm just gonna hope for the best here. There we go. And sorry, it will shake my camera a little bit as I run it through. We'll grab that. Okay. So pretty, right? So we're gonna layer those up together on our card. And then let's grab our label piece and line that up. And hopefully I'll get that to stay put. There we go. All right, so now we've got all the pieces we need to start our card. All right. So I was trying to decide on a card base for this. And so you could use blueberry bushel, but that would make it quite like a rich color. So if that's what you want to do, that would look really good. But I chose boho blue, and I think that's not my scored one. I got one over here that's already scored. And I chose boho blue, and it looks, like you can see, that looks really nice together. And boho blue is retiring. So if you are loving this color, then you might want to grab some cardstock before it's gone. It's actually such a pretty blue. I've really grown to love it over the last couple of years, so I'm going to miss it a bit. And then I'm going to grab a piece of the DSP, and because it's all about the flowers today, I'm just going to use the black and white patterns to really help the flowers to pop. So I'm going to cut this to 3 3/4 by 5. This is the nice checked background. If you want, you could color this. You could with your blending brushes. And of course, you've got all the vibrant sides as well. So I think it would be fun if you use the vibrant with more simple just sentiments, and then you pair like the black and white and let the flowers kind of really pop off the page. And actually, the second card, I'm gonna show you how to kind of take this simple idea, and we'll just do a few things to step it up so you can see how you can easily add a little more layers if you like. So I love cutting mine 3 3/4 by 5 because it gives you a nice fat border of whatever cardstock you're using behind. And then just to help kind of ground our flower to have it something behind it, I have cut out here just some fresh freesia. So if you don't have another die, you could just cut it straight across into a strip. That would look fine. You can use the DSP, whatever you like. This is from the Nested Essentials dies. So this kind of fun shape. And so I'm going to put that back there, and I think I put it on dimensionals. So let me find, you could keep it flat because I think I ended up adding a lot of layers of dimensionals. So maybe I'll keep this one flat. Yeah, my original sample, it kind of, once I got the flower up, then it got a little thick. Okay, so we kind of want it a little higher than center. And then we're going to use some of the awesome velvet ribbon. And so I think we need about 8 inches. Just cut that off. And then you can just put seal down or a piece of tear and tape just to kind of help you stick your ribbon into something. I like to use tear and tape. So that's what I'm going to do. I just kind of plunk it in the middle like this, sometimes at an angle so that I can get 2 strands in. And so because the velvet is only on one side, I'm going to run it across, then fold it over and make sure I've got the velvet up on the other side too. So that is the one thing about this ribbon, is that you've only got the texture on the one side. Then we're going to grab our flower and we're going to load it up with dimensionals. Okay. All right. Okay, and so we'll just kind of, I probably should have made sure they weren't on top of the ribbon. So that's a good tip for you. Sometimes I try to go around the ribbon. So we'll do that. And now we've got that little extra piece, right? So we want to put a couple of dimensionals on there. And just because we cut it out of these 3, it doesn't mean it has to stay there. So I think it actually looks better kind of, well, you can decide where you want it. So I want the Make a Difference to go across. So I'm going to tuck kind of these extra flowers just up here. And then I'll just kind of get my dimensionals where it makes sense. So I need 1 here. And then I might use kind of like the skinny side to kind of go along the bottom, and then it's not doubling up too much. Let's see if this works. Then I can kind of center it on there. There. I love the black and white. That little banner piece is so cute, right? And then we've got those fun sequins. Yeah, so we've got fresh freesia. So that's what I'm going to use on this first card. And there is our first one with our beautiful blue hydrangea. Let me know in the comments if you've got hydrangeas. I have never tried to grow them. They seem intimidating, but maybe they're easier than I think they are. So that is our first one. So now let's go and let's try out this second flower so you can see how, because I love this one. So I wanted to make sure I did both flowers for you today. So let's go ahead and ink this one up. And just for speed on this one, I'm just going to do it once, but I will show you that you can cut out that kind of second flower to kind of layer up like we did on the first one. Okay, so we'll do that. And this time, let's get some different colors going. Let's grab, it's always hard to manage all the things, right, on your craft desk. Okay, so remember to start with the bottom one. And get it all lined up here. Okay, so when you're happy with how it's lined up, get that tape down. Okay, and I'm going to actually use 3 colors. So I'm going to use Bubble Bath, then Fresh Freesia, and then Melon Mambo. But if you just have, say you don't have all the colors, that's fine. Just pick a purple that you like and just like we did on the first one and kind of go softer, then a little bit darker and a little bit darker. And that's going to look great too. I'm going to start with Bubble Bath. Like I said, where's that scrap paper? Here it is. I mean, Bubble Bath is pretty soft already, so I probably won't have to like rub it off at all. Okay, so we're going to start with that. And I love this process. When we were making it on the weekend, when I pulled it off the first time, I couldn't believe it. Like it just looks like DSP. It's so smooth, so perfect looking. It's like really satisfying. Okay. Now I'm going to step up the next layer with Fresh Freesia. And let's grab our second one. And so you're focusing less on what's happening there and more about this little triangle and that the rest of the mask is straight, because sometimes you can't tell exactly where the detail is supposed to be. So I wouldn't worry too much about what's happening there when you're trying to line it up. Okay, then we're going to go into Fresh Freesia. And the second one. And then because I wanted kind of like a hit of contrast, that's why I went to Melon Mambo. So there is Melon Mambo in the DSP. So that's why I used it, in case you're wondering how I came up with this color combo here. It doesn't look like Melon Mambo goes with Fresh Freesia, but it actually does look great with it. So, and it's just a hint of it, really. You're not really putting that much on there. So it's going to just give this nice little pop of darkness there. And scrap. All right, so then we'll just go. And I found like you are going through 3 layers, so you kind of have to give it some good pressure to get all the way in there. And you can use your masks with all sorts of things. I think it says on the sheet that it comes with, but it probably says on the website too. So it's not just blending brushes. So you can use like embossing paste. You can do lots of different things with it. So don't feel limited just by blending brushes. Okay, so that's that. Then we have to do our leaves. Oh, but it's so fun. Look at this. I could have gone a little darker on that Fresh Freesia, but I'm loving how that's looking so far. And then now we've got that second leaf, right? So we'll line that one up. And I'm going to do the same thing I did on the first one with the two different greens. So I put my blending brush way over there. Okay, so we'll start with the Granny Apple Green. Okay, and then go to our second one with Garden Green. All right, so now you've seen me use the mask a couple times. I just got ink all over myself. Just make sure your paper is staying put. Now you guys are experts, right? You'll be more expert than me. That's fine. I am good with that. All right, line this up. And I am going to go off a little bit on my scrap paper before. The garden green actually gets quite dark, so. Remember, I've already done this a few times. So you'll just get better and better at it as you go along. And there it is, looking so pretty. And then what I wanted to show you is that you've got these two leaf dies. And what's kind of fun is instead of just cutting them right out of cardstock, you can use your blending brush and you can add a bit of color right to your paper. And then you can cut your leaves out of this instead of like solid garden green cardstock. And then it just gives it a little more like texture and depth. So then I just check with the die, make sure I've got a big enough spot. So that looks good. Or you could take the lighter green, like you could take the Granny Apple Green and you could add your blending brush with the darker garden green. And that's just another way to add color. All right, let's move a few things out of our way. We got to cut our pretty flowers out. And then we're going to have a good time putting the second card together. So this one will be a little stepped up, a little bit different. Okay, so we've got our leaves in there. And this is the die for this flower here. So that lines up. And if you wanted to do two and cut out to pop up, then this one would cut out this. Oh, sorry, I'm a little off camera there. This second one cuts out this one so that you've got that layering kind of option. That's a fun detail actually with the dies. I like that. Okay, so we've got everything lined up. We'll run that through. And I actually wanted two of those leaves, but I did do one earlier just to speed this process up a little bit for you. So like on the first card, I didn't use any of the extra dies. So this one, I'm going to show you how to kind of add in a few more things. All right. Let's just get that out. And then you can see how good that looks. See, it's a little bit softer than if we had just cut it straight out of garden green, right? All right, so for this card base, I'm going to use fresh freesia. So this is just a regular card base like the first one. So 5.5 by 8.5, scored in half at 4 1/4. Then I have a piece of garden green cardstock, which is cut to my favorite here, 3 3/4 by 5. And then we're going to add some DSP. So just go through the patterns, whatever you love. I wanted to combine the black and white like I did on the first one, but then mix it with the garden green a bit more. And so do I have, where are my measurements here? I think I want it to be 3 5/8. So I'm going for an 1/8 of an inch mat. And like about 3. We don't really need to worry about trimming it off because it's layered, but we'll trim it off. So 3 5/8 by 3. And so then this one also needs to be 3 5/8, but then just by 2 inches. Okay. And then you look for your, there we go, your seal. So we're going to put the leaf one on the top. got scraps of stuff everywhere here. line that one up at the top, and then we'll put our green pattern on the bottom. Okay. And these cards are going to be one of the kits for my April craft night, so you can keep that in mind. If you're local in Calgary here, we can come make this together. If you're anywhere in Canada, you can purchase the kit to go. I just can't include any stamped images, so you're definitely going to want to grab this bundle, and then you get all the cardstock and die cut pieces cut out for you. Okay, so how I stepped this up from the first card was layering the DSP onto cardstock. So I didn't do that on the first one, but imagine you could add green back there or fresh freesia, and then you've got just like another little layer of pop. Or if you want to bring in that blueberry bushel, that would look nice too. And then we've got our flower, of course, and then we've got leaves. So I've got another one ready to go here. So we've got 2 leaves, and I'm just going to put a little adhesive kind of behind the leaves on the stamped image. I just find this the easiest way, but however you want to do it. And then just so that the leaves are sticking out, but not off the card, so that it can still fit into an envelope. So it's always good to remember. It's got a final destination it needs to work with. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put this on. And then, of course, if you had stamped that extra flower, then you could layer that on top as well. That's another layer. I'm at the end of another sheet of dimensionals. Goodness. I might need to cut back. Cut back my dimensional usage here. And then just however you want to lay that on your card. There's no right or wrong way to do that. And then for our sentiment, I have done the With Love. And remember how I said that all the sentiments in this stamp set work perfect with the mixed labels dies. So if you have those dies already, then you're going to love how these work together. So I went ahead. You could definitely just stamp it in green on or black or whatever on basic white, but I went and embossed it with white onto fresh freesia. Get all my words out. And then on this stamp set, you're going to see these cute little leaves. And so you can stamp and cut those out. And what I love about the dies is they give you 3. So you can stamp it 3 times and cut out 3 times, like all at once with only 1 cut, which is nice. And so I'm going to layer these up behind the sentiment. So we'll put our seal back there, and then we'll kind of tuck 1 on the bottom left and 1 on the top right. And we'll squeak in a little bit of our fresh freesia ribbon. And because, again, it's only on the one side, I didn't want to like loop it per se. So you could just cut strips. You could cut 1, you could cut 2. I'm just going to go with the 1. Just get something sticky like tear and tape for it to go into. This might be a bit long, like 3.5 inches, 4 inches. That's probably good. And then I'll put a dimensional on the one end and seal on the other just so it's level. That's basically the only reason why I do that. Adhesive in there. And then we'll layer that up there. Lovely. So you can see we added just a few extra things, right? So we've got the greenery in behind the flower this time. I added some of the black and white flowers. I heat embossed. So there's a few different ways, right, to step up your card if you want to just keep taking it up a notch. And we're going to add our sequins as well. So I am going to put like the pop of yellow, even though I don't have any yellow on this page, but I'm squeaking in the yellow anyway. And then maybe I went a little dark with that melon mambo, but I like it. So I do have another card here. I'm going to show you. This is the one I made on the weekend. So similar, but different, right? So again, I just stepped up, adding a few more layers. And let's bring back the hydrangea one. Oh, I love these. I just love the way that they've designed these flowers with the mask, decorative masks. So much fun to play with. All right, so those are our projects for today. I hope that that gave you some ideas. You learned how to use the masks. Oh, I made them in yellow too. I was going to show, look how pretty they are in yellow too. So if you're not using the paper and confined by the colors that are in the DSP, of course, you can color these any color that you want. And so that's going to look good. Don't forget that on stampinup.ca, there's always the samples that the concept artists kind of come up with that are beautiful, give you ideas as well. And yeah, if you want to find ways to be creative or looking for a way to get creative, don't forget my Stamp and Create class. Registration's open until next Thursday, March 20th. And that's what I've got going on right now. I'm actually planning for a Saturday event that everyone's already signed up for. So I've been busy cutting paper this week. So I'm going to go back to cutting paper. And I will look forward to seeing you guys next week. I think next week I'm going to be making some Easter treat boxes. So that's what we're going to do next week. So I'll see you then. So take care. Bye-bye.